YouTube. I just saw a video on TikTok that was about the hear me out cake thing, and it really sparked an idea in my head about why, not why, about how weird some of our attractions to things are, as people. Because they put down, and it's been a very reoccurring theme, to where a lot of them are just animals who can talk, but they're just animals. It's not like they're furries or anything. I can kind of get why, I feel like furries could be excusable in the way that they are built like a person and speak like a person, but sometimes people will just put, animals who speak, and it's I think about how interesting it would be. This is gonna sound horrible, but in a reality to where those animals who could speak were real. It was the woolly mammoth and the tiger from Ice Age specifically. I'm trying to imagine a world to where if creatures like that are real, if people would actually be attracted to them, and what kind of society standards would be built off of that, because that's genuinely insane to me, to thinking about okay, I get it if it's fictional, you would never act upon it because it's an animal, but it's so weird how normalized that is for just people to be attracted to animals who speak. And that's the whole thing, to where it's well, technically if they can consent, but I'm not assuming that anything's a sexual relationship between the people, but I'm even saying romantically, you're attracted to an animal, technically the animal can consent, but it's where do you draw the line? If that animal was real, would you actually pursue that? And this sounds horrifying. This is so weird, and this is gonna make me seem like a really weird person for talking about this on the internet, but it's genuinely so interesting to me because there's so much, especially with the fish, and honestly, some of them I understood. The one fish from Nemo. Growing up. I don't get how people work. My entire face just got red because I'm so embarrassed trying to admit that. Oh my god. Genuinely, I don't get how people's attraction to things work. I don't even, I wanted to say, because someone put Pokemon on the Hear Me Out cake, and they were all curvaceous Pokemon, so it's of course people are gonna, be attracted to something that has curves and features, that are human, that are built in our brains to be attracted to, for people who are attracted to those things. And it's yeah, that's fair. But then some people just put it's so weird. A fish, the fish from Nemo. So I saw that on one of people's cakes, and it's okay, that's a literal fish, and it's technically I get why people are attracted to these things because of their personalities, but it's still so it's so weird how normalized that is. I'm not trying to shame anybody for it. I don't think it's anything that needs to be shamed, but I also don't know, because it's just I need to know if I'm alone on this, because this is so, I never realized how weird that is until watching this video, and I'm wow, that's most people just had a crush on these fictional animals. What is happening? And it's the whole thing with monster freakers, so it's there is people out there who and it's I'm not one to judge for obscure crazy taste in fictional things, but my brain is going to, if this was real, would people act on these things? That's weird, because there's people who try to do that, but then it's obviously that they're weird because they're trying to freak animals, the people who try to act out stuff with octopi, sorry, that stuff's really weird and inhumane, and anything with animals in general is really weird and inhumane, so but then it's just publicly admitting all of these things, I don't get how society has hated bestiality so much, but then also kind of had the one little exception of if they can talk. Like, it's fine if they're an animal, but if they can talk. I mean, it's not fine if they're an animal, but if they can talk, it's fine. And so I'm just like, because I've seen so many people talk about that because of the layer of consent that is needed, which is why, you know, like, doing anything to animals at all, no matter what, is weird because there's no form of consent, like, romantically, like, that's so weird. Like, not that. That's completely fair. You should, like, it's weird that people are like, that's so, I don't, this is, like, the dumbest thing to come in here and talk about, because it's literally 1 a.m., and I'm just, like, I think it's so interesting how our brains work when it comes to, you know, being attracted to things, especially when people put up, like, inanimate objects, or, like, even concepts of things. I saw someone put up the concept of time. That's, like, so interesting how our brains choose to be attracted to things. Not even choose, but, you know, get attracted to things. That is so weird. Like, that's so cool-ish as a concept, but it's so strange. Like, I don't, I wish I need to learn more about, like, why these certain things happen, because there has to be some, like, it's obviously just entirely a mental thing, and there has to be reasons for it, but, you know, I think, personally, like, I don't know, I can't even say there's nothing harmful about it, because it's like, I don't know, it's kind of weird, but, I don't know, I'm not on here to, like, king shame people who are attracted to monsters or anything, because, yeah, but, but, it's just, like, though, like, that video made me realize, like, how weird, like, how normalized it is. Like, I don't get it. I'm so repetitive, but, I don't know. I just wanted to talk, because I have a lot of ideas that pop up in my head, and then I can't talk about them with anybody because it's 1 a.m., so, I don't know. I know I look insane, but that's fine. I definitely look like someone who would talk about this kind of subject on the internet. Bye-bye!